lecture series, lecture number 18. And today's topic is engineering education in India, trend and future direction. And our esteemed speaker is Professor Abdul Samad, Professor IIT Madras in Department of Ocean Engineering. Sir, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I would like to give some short introduction of our esteemed speaker. Uh, he has completed a BTech and MTech degree from Aligarh Muslim University and his PhD from Inha University, South Korea. He got postdoctoral fellowship in 2010, University Aberdeen, UK, and in 2010 he joined as assistant professor in Department of Ocean Engineering, IIT Madras. Then in 2020, August 31st, he has been promoted as an associate professor in the same institute. Now he is working as a professor in Department of Ocean Engineering, IIT Madras. I would like to give some example of his tremendous work and work experience. He has got 6 number of national and international fellowship. He has supervised 23 number of projects, and he got 18 number of award, scholarship and fellowship from different university institutions around the world. He has published 82 number of journals, 141 number of conference paper. He has written 7 number of books, and he has 5 patent too. So this is the short introduction of our esteemed speaker. Sir, now over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for this introduction and for this invitation for this lecture. I think it is audible, right? Or I have to? Is it?
Yes,
clear?
sir. Yes, sir. Fine. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So today's topic: engineering education in India, trend and future. So this is something based on my experience plus something based on literature survey and Google search and AICT. So lots of research I have done for this lecture, and based on my experience and all together I'll mix up and I'll try to give overview. I mean, what is the future of present engineering education in India? So mainly, initially I'll give overview, then I'll talk about present status, and finally I'll conclude with future direction, in which direction Indian engineering education is going. So first we have to go through the STEM, science, technology, engineering, management, the status, global status. China is highest because the population is high in India and China. So China is having 4.7 million graduates in 2016. India 2.6 million, so almost half. So because of population, these are higher than other than these two countries, the United States, Russia, Iran, and other countries also there. Now, European Renaissance. So engineering, actually, it is not started from this European Renaissance. From human civilization started from then on. Actually, engineering things happened. Like people try to make shelter and they want to hunt. Then from there, actually, engineering concept came up. But the revolution came up, like lots of invention, like steam engine invention 1698, James Watt, then typewriter, then stitching machine, then fountain pen. Then if you can list lots of things you can name in the last few hundred years, those things actually accelerated the innovation, engineering industry, mass production, and those were based on basically mechanical, civil, and then electricity came up, then electrical concept also introduced. But after let's say in the last 100 years, the electronics thing slowly introduced into the system. Then electronics engineering came up, electronics to computer to then internet. Now we are speaking with computer, mobile phone, and this Google Meet and all these things. So gradually the things develop. Now see the historical overview. First, global based institution. So although we are performing very well in India, but we are lacking in the global list actually. So top MIT, if you see several years continuous data, so MIT still higher at the top. MIT, Stanford, Zurich, Cambridge, Oxford, California, NTU, those universities already on the top. Few university focus more on social sciences, so they may be doing very good, but for engineering, MIT and Stanford, those are still in the top, and continuously they are making very well in the ranking list. But Indian universities or IITs or institutions are not making in the top list because we have several problems, like we don't have international students, we don't have faculty. So government is trying for that. Now let's see next thing. If we take the statistics from 1950 to 2016, because this list, this statistical data was made in 2016. Just I copied from one website, so it will be there somewhere. So in 1950s, 30 universities were there. 30 universities and yeah, 30 university. Now it is becoming around 900, and colleges 695 to 42,000 colleges now. So now big jump was there in 2000 to 2010. Around that time, there was a big jump of new colleges, especially private colleges got sanctioned, and after that again it is becoming asymptotic with time, because many colleges are getting opened, many colleges are getting closed. So that is the story of 2016. So next 4 years also the similar story will be there. Top 4 fields of study. If we see Indian education system, the higher education especially, so 37% students still opt for arts, then 19% sciences, 18% commerce and management, 16%, I mean a little bit lower, engineering and technology. Other courses also will be there, but these are the top 4. So among top 4, engineering is the 4th one. Now about engineering, 80% of 16 to 17 years old in India interested in engineering career, compared to 30% in the US and 20% in the UK. So all were engineer actually. Even all parents these days, they think only about engineering. So someone is trying to present. Please don't click on that. Yeah. So India has closed engineering gender gap. All times low. 85% of Indian men are interested in engineering, and 79% women. And if you see other developed countries, China, Brazil, China is developing, Brazil, US, so their ratio is not so high. So we are performing very well in that aspect. So now we see oldest private university. So just I googled, I found Sikkim Manipal University. They're showing as the oldest private university. I may not be correct, but Google is showing that. And I found the Birla Institute of Technology was started in 1955. Most probably this was the private institute. So may not be university. Okay, that may be the reason. So the story started long back, private thing. Now engineering colleges in India. NIT, IITs are there. So everyone knows, I think, those are from engineering background or non-engineering background, doesn't matter. NIT and IITs, they are performing well, and they get with their premier institutions. So government gives more support, financial support, and lots of funding also comes to these universities. So they are performing very well. Other government engineering colleges, for example, other than NIT, IITs, there are lots of state universities will be there, central university where they will have their own engineering colleges. So they are also very good actually. In many private colleges, they are also coming up, and many are ranking very well in the NIRF ranking. NIRF I'll explain later. And Institute of Engineers and many other some organizations are there which are providing some degrees, let's say correspondence type actually. So those degrees, many time IIT, like even when we conduct for MS PhD interview, sometimes we ignore, sometimes we say okay, you allow them, and we take their degrees. So Institute of Engineers, like someone is having diploma and they are trying to get some B level certificate, then they can go for exam and they can get degree. So approval. Okay, so all engineering colleges must get approved by AICTE or MHRD. IITs are controlled by MHRD, so not from AICTE. So we are, I'm from IIT, so we are controlled directly by MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Development. A first engineering college. I think many will be knowing and many will not be knowing. So there is some good story actually about first engineering college. In Agra, Uttar Pradesh, now Prayagraj. In Agra, there was famine in 1837-38. So government, the British government at that time, East India Company, they thought, okay, let's develop some irrigation system so that famine again it will not reappear, and that should be done in the Doab region. Doab region is Ganga, Yamuna. That two Doab means two water. So Ganga and Yamuna river in between, they wanted to create some canal, and they wanted to get GT road constructed also from Calcutta to Delhi. So there are lots of engineering works were there, but they found a shortage of some weakness in British engineers because they don't know local language, they don't know local environment, that rainy season or summer season, winter season, local dialect they don't understand. So they will have to understand local people also. So that's why let's create some engineering college and train Indian people and get engineers and get the work done. So Cornell Courtly, he was given in charge that, okay, so you create the facility. Now he wrote some letter, some proposal, and he submitted to Northern Province governor. Finally, governor accepted the proposal. And what happened in 1846? One engineering college started actually. 20 students were, number of students were 20, and it was inside a tent in Saharanpur. But it was very difficult to run there because facility was not there. So they found around 40 kilometer, at a 40 kilometer distance, they found one place is there where library is there, some facility engineering facility also there to construct some bridge and other thing. So they said, let's shift it there. Okay, so let's shift it to Aqueduct on the Ganges Canal, for peculiar facility for instructing civil engineers. There are a large workshop, most importantly structure in course of formation. So one building plus all these things were there. So they shifted there. And finally, India got first campus, IIT Roorkee. So it was not IIT Roorkee that time. So it was just simply engineering college. Then it became Roorkee University. And this photo was from IITR website. It is 1927 picture. And recent picture also, it did not change actually, only camera quality changed. So this is the first Indian engineering college, and engineering education started from there only. Okay, now history, let's see, from till 1947, till we get freedom from Britishers. So 1847, already we got one engineering college, Roorkee. Then we got College of Engineering, Pune in 1854. Then we got Calcutta Civil Engineering College. Here also very good thing. So in Calcutta also, the East India Company thought, okay, we need lots of engineering work, train the local people. So what they started started one engineering college in Writers Building actually. It was the first engineering college. Inside, in that premises, they started engineering college. Then later they got space in Shibpur. Then it became Bengal Engineering College. Now Bengal Besu it became. Then I think IIT it become central government took it now. 1858 College of Engineering, Chennai, Gindi, Anna University runs this college now. Then 1959 BHU. So Benares Hindu University is one college. Institute of Technology is there. So that college was established in 1959. Then 1921 HBTI. Kanpur, one very good institutions is there, 1921. Then 1926, Indian School of Mines, Dhanbad was created. Now ISM IIT, Indian School of Mines, IIT Dhanbad, they say. And in 1947, 36 engineering colleges were there, and annual intake was 2,500. Approved institution. Private colleges started in 1990s actually, and there was a boom. I'll tell you about when the boom started. Total colleges 4,000 now, more than 4,200 actually. UP, number of colleges in UP is highest, 542. Then Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Punjab, West Bengal around 90 colleges are there. IIT, NIT altogether 23 IITs and 30 around NITs. So total around 53 institutions are there. Students in government college 25% and private college 75%. Total number of students are taught by private colleges. So NRF, National Institute of Ranking Framework. So I think everyone are familiar with this NIRF ranking. So central government MHRD, they have created a ranking framework. So all the institutions in India, universities, colleges, IITs, and IITs, all are ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And IIT Madras, we are getting, I think last 4 or 5 years, continuously rank 1. It was established in 1959. Actually, these are oldest IITs. Old is gold. So these all old are the top list. IIT Madras, Delhi, Bombay, Kanpur, and Kharagpur. Then after that, new IITs got created. 2001 IIT Roorkee, that Roorkee University, first engineering college, it will become Roorkee University, then Roorkee IIT. This is 2001 IIT Guwahati, 1994 IIT Hyderabad, 2008 IIT Indore, 2009 IIT BHU. So that BHU, it was not IIT. So recently, 2008, it became IIT. Nasim, please not share anything. Yeah. So private engineering colleges, many private engineering colleges are also performing very well. Other than IITs and government engineering colleges, BITS Pilani, they're a very old institute and they're doing very well. They are also ranked in NIRF, Triple IT Hyderabad, Dhirubhai Ambani IICT, VIT Vellore, BIT Meshra Ranchi, PSG College of Technology Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. These are making these are the top rank in the NIRF private colleges, but top ranked. Now average salary. IIT students still they are getting very high salary. Average salary is 11.1 lakh. Then NIT salaries are there. Then other colleges are there accordingly. And course-wise, if you see CS and IT, normally they're getting very high salary. And machine learning course, data scientist, security analysis, business analysis, those people are getting higher salary. And other people who are having like mechanicals, chemical, civil, their rank will be actually lower. So their salary range normally it will be lower. Capacity. Now we have from first engineering Roorkee to 1947 to today, we are having around 17 lakhs seat per year. So every year, this year also they'll be opening up around 17 lakh seat. But this is getting reduced. Sorry, it was in 2014. Now presently the number of seats is 15 lakhs. So gradually it is reducing. The more than 2 lakhs got reduced. And capacity. And if we see the enrollment, although we have 17 lakh in 2014, but enrollment was almost half, 8.8 lakhs. Now reduction in 2016, it becomes 7.9 or 8 lakhs. So almost half sales seats are getting filled. There are several reasons also. So many industry experts, including Narayan Murthy and many experts, say that 75% engineers are unemployable. I mean, we cannot hire them because they are getting, they're coming to engineering college, they're getting degree, but they're not learning anything, and they're not smart enough to catch the new technology, new invention, new method, new theories. So they are actually unemployable. So that is creating some problem in engineering colleges, and many students are getting frustrated. They are not taking admission in engineering colleges now, and slowly it is going to reduce. Recent report. So 164 new institutions got approval. It's good news that last year, this is recent news actually. I mean, 2-3 days back, Live Mint website reported this. 164 new institutions got AICTE approval. 1,300 institutions sought approval for increasing intake by a total of 1,40,000 seats. AICTE regulates at least 10,000, almost 9,500 technical institutions, including engineering and business schools. So it is just recent, yesterday's report. Okay. And AICTE slash 2 lakh seats across engineering, management, pharmacy colleges. So in 2014, it was 40 lakh seats, now it is 34 lakhs. So gradual decrease in total. So if now I already told that 17 lakhs engineering seat was there around 2014. Now it become it reduced to 14 around 14 15 lakhs. Now total if I say management, pharmacy, engineering altogether it was 40 lakhs, it become 34 lakhs. So gradually reduction is there. So 72 colleges closed, highest in the last 9 years, this year only. Okay. Now if we see our own state, West Bengal, West Bengal also trend almost similar. Total number of engineering seats 34,000 and 28% drop. So it becomes 28% drop is there. And if we see 2016, 37,000 was there, 42% drop. So drop means number of student getting admission is very less. So many colleges will be shut down actually because of this low number of admissions. So AICT says that if admission is only 30%, then try to close down the colleges. Job 7.5 lakhs engineer every year graduating, because they are taking admission and they are graduating. So 2.5 lakhs landed relevant job, 2.2 lakhs in software, and many will be unemployed anyway. Approximately 40,000 jobs, salary will be very high, like 8 lakhs or 10 lakhs, and normal salary will be 2 to 5 lakhs. Top 10 engineering disciplines. So top 10 engineering disciplines are electrical engineering, electronics engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, computer science and engineering, VLSI design, chemical engineering, aerospace engineering, agriculture engineering, mechatronics engineering. So these takes around 90% of the seats, and in the last few years 50% seats are filled actually, and 10% drop in approved seat in last 5 years. So government is trying to reduce total number of seats. So this is the trend is happening in engineering course. So upcoming colleges, no new engineering college from 2020. This is said by AICTE. AICTE will approve additional seats in existing institutions. So they are not allowing new colleges, but they are saying, okay, you have established college, you want to get some extra seat, okay, you create extra seat, new course, that is okay. But no new colleges. So new college means you have to create new infrastructure. That will be that means you have to invest lots of money, and you don't know what will happen in the future. So better some colleges already established, they have already infrastructure, so they can ask some more courses, that will be okay, or more number of seats, that will be okay. So now upcoming courses. So I see lots of negative side, like colleges are getting closed. Many courses maybe will be dropped because of the time need of the time. AICTE closing anyway, many colleges and courses also getting closed. So now upcoming courses like blockchain, robotics, quantum computing, data science, cybersecurity, 3D printing, machine learning, artificial intelligence, IoT, Internet of Things, digital twins, BOT, virtual learning, cloud computing, business intelligence, analysis, mobile computing. This sort of new courses are coming up, and many colleges or many IITs or institutions already adapted. So let's see what is there. So I have one question for you. Today's job market requires technical skill. How much percentage, like one engineer if I have to hire, so how much percentage technical skill should I have, and how much percentage soft optional skills should I have?
80-20.
So yeah, so people, so industry says like it will be 30% technical skill, and other skill like your smartness, your communication skill, and software skill, and other skill, those should be 70%. Okay, thank you. So coexistence of man and machine. So now days are changing. So when James Watt invented this steam powered machine, so that time it was mechanical based. Now it is becoming electronic software based. So now things are changing, scenario changing. Like for example, this lockdown, this is teaching lots of things. For example, we are teaching online. So online learning thing also, last 4 months we have learned lots of things actually, knowingly or unknowingly. Like I am teaching my classes and I've been delivering lectures through this method also. So the system and scenario changing. In business unit also will be changing their policies. So things will be more online based. For example, IIT is already has adapted. For example, NPTEL lectures are there. Anyone can take that any course from NPTEL, and they can get IT certificate. One course already there with big data or data analysis software. Sorry, the course, 3 years course IIT Madras has introduced. So anyone can register and they can get a big data or data science degree from IIT Madras, 3 years BSc course. So this online thing are coming up, it will go on. So these things are changing everything. I mean, man-machine interaction is getting changed. So by 2025, we'll be losing almost 5 million jobs to automation. So if you go to West Bengal villages, I mean, during the rice harvesting time, you will see this time all machines are used to cut and harvest and thrash paddy and yeah. So instead of manpower, previously there was only manpower cutting and binding and everything they're doing. So things are changing. You have to adapt. Bots, robots are already there. You are seeing everywhere, and robot will be more beneficial. For example, during Corona time, if you have robot can service food to the patients. That will be very good instead of man. So if man and human being to human being interaction less. If robot is working, robot we can put in disinfectant liquid and we can clean, and you can transfer food or medicine through robot. It will be good. So it will not transmit disease. So robot will be there in hospitals, maybe in few years. So blockchain technology, this is new upcoming technology. Many universities and colleges adopting. So many colleges trying to start bachelor's degree in blockchain technology. So this is also software-based system and digital twins. So instead of creating actual model, you create one digital software-based model, analyze, then you produce product. So in between, if you produce anything actual thing, so you want to create one spacecraft, you cannot test every time. So you create computer model, you try to try to give speed, try to check crashing capability, burning capability, everything instead of actual model. Then once you are confirmed that okay, things are okay, everything okay, then you create actual model, then you go on. So it will reduce your loss of money plus time, and computer also can perform lots. Thousands of calculations can be done through computer, and this system can be produced. So similar way, not only spacecraft, for everyday day-to-day life items also, when you are manufacturing, before manufacturing, do computer analysis, produce replica, see the effect. For example, these days people like say broken leg, you have to replace broken leg. So before that, you want to test stress test and everything, you do it, then you test, you apply to human body, then you go on. So that twins, that technology already there, but more improvement required, more people will be required in the upcoming engineering area. Virtual reality. So virtual reality means you see this picture, so put the glass and you see actual thing. So you can create the virtual reality software, how perfectly you can do. For example, now you can only see and listen. Now in future, maybe there will be smell concept, touch concept also will come. So those will be included all okay. Robotics, I think I already told. This is not actual robot actually, this is from some movie. So actual robot will not work like this. Actual robot will help actually for in industry where safety issues are there. So you sell robot and you get your work done. And big data, I already told that IIT Madras has started already big data course. Even last placement session also, many of my students say, sir, XYZ student got job because he did some big data job, a big data course. So he got a job. So maybe this is an upcoming thing. So if someone is knowing some big data course or some software, then their job probability will be increasing and their salary will be higher. Already I have shown in one slide that their salary higher, 1.8 lakh something. Internet of Things. So internet will be applied everywhere. Smart home, your smart watch, smart car, smart refrigerator, smart fridge, everything will be connected to internet. Already almost done, but still more perfection, more accuracy will come. So it needs lots of it will create lots of job opportunities. Artificial intelligence. So here two questions. Many engineering friends will be there, they'll be knowing, but many will not be knowing. So knowledge means actually we learn from things. Intelligence means we analyze. So AI and machine intelligence, actually this will be combining both. and you will create artificial intelligence. So the machine will mimic your human behavior. For example, artificial neural network system we use for our optimization. So we create one code. So code will see first one few design, then they will predict it. Okay, your new design will be like this. So first you give some knowledge. Okay, these are designs. Based on this design, you tell what will be the exact design for the future design. So AI or machine learning or neural network or genetic algorithm, those things will be coupled, and it will predict proper thing. Okay, so then lots of coding knowledge will be required. Man-machine interaction will be required. So engineers will be required for that case. So AICT asking colleges to start this sort of courses, maybe bachelor's degree in AI and machine learning, bachelor's degree like already IT Madras I told, data science created. So this sort of course will come for in the future. Data security. So a few months back there was a news that IT Madras website was hacked, email server. So even many times you see like US some website hack or China website hack or Indian government some website hack. So hacking is there is data security issues there. So you have to protect data. Privacy you have to maintain, like your email, your Facebook, your so whatever you are using. So someone should not read your information, whatever you want to hide. So some engineers will be there who will be securing all these things. So some is knowingly, like your bank account someone hacked, you took money, so you have to trace them, those people. Or some people will be there, okay, some blockage they will create so that hackers or thief will not enter into your bank account and they will not take your money. So that is lots of engineers are there, but still huge amount of engineering will be required, because everything is becoming online. All data will be like say your Aadhaar already there with the government. So someone hacks other data, that means your all data will go with them. Okay, so some security people, security engineers, the data security, this engineer number of engineers requirement will be high in the future also. Like let's say my basic background mechanical, so that's why I know about this one. So mechanical engineering future course, what can be done? Additive manufacturing, 3D printing. 3D printing, I'll show some picture also. Nanotechnology with mechanical engineering systems, surface structure or nanostructure, or metallurgy will be coupled with this. Internet of Things will be connected to the mechanical system. Electric vehicle coming. So a few days back, I went to Germany with the German Sustainable Society, Indo-German IGCS. So they took us for renewable energy, but finally they have shown that how they're creating a battery-based car, battery-operated car. They are thinking whether can you put solar panel over there, or the road can be fixed with some ionized induction charger system, so that you don't have to charge every time. Your car will move and car will be charged automatically. So that technology you have to develop. Electric vehicle, let's say battery life. How can you increase battery life? How to reduce the pollution, battery pollution? Like after 1 or 2 years, you have to replace battery. So definitely, how can you reuse, or how can you reduce weight? My mobile battery within 24 hours it gets drained out. Can it be running for say 1 month, 2 months? I'll be happy. So those things are like renewable energy. So polluting energy like nuclear anyway, it's not, may not be polluting, but safety issues are there. If you see hydro or thermal, NTPC, they are producing lots of smoke or gas, maybe pollution, poisonous or polluting gases. So can we avoid those things? So then we have to go for renewable energy. So that means we have to go for wind energy or solar energy. Again, lots of research required. Solar panels, how can you increase efficiency? How can you make stable wind turbine systems? So those wind energy and solar energy, if you see MNRE, Ministry of Renewable Energy website, government has target. You have to produce this much of energy by 2034. Okay, so 100 gigawatt energy by 2025, or some target is there. So that means lots of renewable energy will be into our society, knowingly or unknowingly. So manpower will be required. Like say solar lamp you buy, someone should repair, right? Someone should understand. So mechanical engineers also should go to this new technological areas. So and 3D printing, like say this is 3D printing options. In my group, research group also, we have produced one 3D printing thing, turbine. It will be like layer by layer, they'll print, and they'll give a simple product. So if we go for manufacturing, proper manufacturing process in mechanical engineering, the proper manufacturing process, it will cost very high. It will be difficult to manufacture. There's so much thin blades. So using 3D printing, quickly in one day they will manufacture, and they will be to 5,000, 10,000. But if we go from mechanical based thing, then it will be take more money and it will be more difficult also, and accuracy and also so many issues are there. So it is quick to manufacture, easy. It is break. If it breaks, okay, fine. Next day again I will get another one. Okay, so this technology should get improved because this material is not so strong now. So in future, strong material must be there. Civil engineering. So civil engineering future, like self-driving vehicle will be coming. So you have to change the road, right? Road signal system you have to change. AI will be entering into your road traffic system, your bridge systems, structural engineering, health monitoring system, nanotechnology will be coming into structure, material, renewable energy again will be challenging job. Civil engineering future. So IT Madras engineers, if you see this building, IT Madras engineers focus low cost housing model. So IT Madras has developed this building. So it is there in our campus and people are residing. So chemical engineers like battery, I already told battery, how can you increase battery life? And non-pollutant, surface science, polymer, material science, environmental science, renewable energy, anyway, common, and include with electronic system, AI, and data science, and all these things coupled. So these things will be upcoming. Changing city, automation. Okay, automation everywhere it will be there. Okay, so for example, manual operations will go on. Manual operation will be reduced, and machine will take over. And computer-based one, main computer server will be there, and that will be running hundreds of machines. So that thing will come. So that will take 50% of the job in next few years. And few jobs will be in danger: financial services, manufacturing, transportation, packaging, shipping. So they'll be more automatic. So these things are getting disrupted. Data entry clerk. So if you see in office, previously when I was doing engineering, so that time people were getting job for data entry operator. Now that job will go. Cashier, cashing machine, automatic machines are there. Now in last 4 months, I think I have gone to ATM machine 1 or 2 times. I'm doing all the money transfer and purchasing things through online only. So cashier job is not there. In bank, maybe cashier will not be there actually in few years. Financial analyst. So pen paper based thing gone. Telemarketer, customer service executive. So all the works are going to change. All things will be internet based, mobile based, communication based. Now what IITs are doing, so many changes are there. So IIT when we are teaching engineering courses, IIT has formed like this. Mechanical engineering student, like I took admission in mechanical, but I am interested in computer science. What will I do? I'll take 50% course from computer engineering department. So although my degree will be mechanical, but I'll be almost computer engineer. If some student is not happy with like ocean engineering, so they can take data science courses. So he will do 50% ocean engineering department course, 50% data science on computer science related course, so that in future when he's landing into job, so he'll be absorbed as a data scientist. Okay, so that sort of flexibility IIT creating. Maybe other colleges also think in that way. National Employability Report says like 70% engineers cannot be hired. So बाप का पैसा है चलो engineering कर लो. So this will not work actually. If someone is not having any interest, then giving into engineering just will be a wastage of money. And new skills, like 3% engineers are having new skills, so that should go up. And now programming skill and key skills. So US engineers having more skill in programming than Indian engineers. Future skills, AICT. Future skills, AICT defines managerial skill, entrepreneurship skill, leadership skill, communication skill, and teamwork skill. These skills should be there. When I was graduating, it was on one, so I had some job problem actually, because I had good technical skill, but I feel I had this sort of weakness there that time. So anyway, so later maybe I have improved. So I am in front of you anyway. So this leadership skills, someone is having, some student is having. If our college is having some parameter to improve some students' quality through this methodology, then students' employability will increase. Now conclusion: Indian economy growing, so job opportunity will be there. Now we have to update. For example, mechanical engineering, if you are still learning simple gear mechanism and machine mechanism, it is okay. But okay, can you link your work with electronic system, say applied AI or data science or big data, then couple your course, then it will give more better job. Seats are not filling in engineering colleges, so they need to relook, need to modify as per their global need or local need. So local some industry there, for example Chennai around automobile industry is there. If some college is introducing automobile engineering course, so maybe those students will get opportunity to work internship in the automobile industry. Maybe in future they'll be getting absorbed, Pune and Chennai especially. IT maybe Hyderabad or Bangalore, so those colleges will get more job opportunities. More industry involvement required. So AICT also recommending that colleges should focus on industry linkage. And even when I was a student, also that time also listening. But government is trying to link more industry academic linkage. The students' skill to be enhanced through different mechanisms. For example, communication skill and other skills they will have to improve. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Almost half an hour lecture. Thank you. And anything to discuss? Any?
Okay, thank you very much. যদি কারো কোশ্চেন থাকে তার কোশ্চেন করতে পারে. It is open for question. Audience
Sir,
can ask question.
hello.
Yes, yes.
What are the scopes as you belong from the ocean technology background? So I want to know about NCPOR, about NCAOR, actually National Center for Antarctic and Ocean Research. So are they from the NIOT or direct from IIT Madras?
Okay. No, what the question? I did not understand.
I'm asking about NCPOR, National Center for Polar and Ocean Research.
Okay.
So are they recruiting from the NIOT or IIT Madras directly?
Okay. So recruiting, like there are ocean related institutions there, like Goa, NIO is there, National Institute of Ocean, NIO, National Institute of Oceanographics, and Hyderabad is there in COIS, NIOT there in IIT Chennai, and our department in IIT Madras is there. So normally when and NIOT or Ministry of Earth Sciences Laboratory, actually NIO Goa also Ministry of Earth Sciences Laboratory. So they have given one MTech program to our department. I think this year they are not funding, but last few 10-15 years they funded for MTech program in ocean technology, and the fund came from Ministry of Earth Sciences. They gave fund for training, for MTech training, but when they are recruiting, they are not considering separately. So when they are recruiting scientists, they are asking for a common application and they are not getting any extra benefit actually. And NIO, everyone recruits scientist B, normally B or C will be there. If someone is having MTech, normally it will be C or B. BTech will be MTech will be C, I think. So normally they will be asking common application and they will be recruiting. So from IIT Madras, normally they do not recruit. But sometimes they get benefit because we give rigorous training. So maybe some student will get. Many of our PhD holder from IIT Madras, they are heading those institutions. NIO Goa and National Center for Wind Technology. So many organizations, the directors, they are from IIT Madras only actually. They got PhD or BTech or some degree, and gradually they moved up in their career ladder, and they are director now.
And sir, what is the scope of an electrical engineer to do MTech in ocean technology?
Yeah.
If someone is interested in polar and Antarctic research, so can he do after doing BTech in electrical engineering? Can he do MTech in ocean technology?
After BTech ocean technology, after BTech, if you want to do a direct PhD, then you have to go for GATE. GATE exam must be higher, most probably 600 or something. 5. I don't know exact cutoff every year. Direct PhD.
Around 600.
Yeah, around 6. Yeah, for direct PhD, most probably it will be like this. And if you go for PhD after MTech, then GATE is not required. So that time the criteria will be lower. But if you are going for direct PhD, criteria will be higher. And many students are coming from electrical background and they are doing PhD. For example, we have one colleague also, Tarun Chandradula. He is having electrical background. He's a professor in our department. So our department is actually multidisciplinary. So I have mechanical background with some professors are civil, one chemical, one electrical background person also there. So professors are having different background. Even my last student, Suchitra, so she got degree. She is having electrical background degree, and she got PhD with me. So I was her guide, and now she moved to US. So she'll be searching job there only.
So they are
So
possible. Thank you, sir.
yeah,
Hello, sir. I
yeah.
have a question. Sir, if I want to pursue a career in computer science engineering,
Okay.
should I start coding from an early stage, like 11th grade?
No, 11th grade, don't think. First you get good engineering college, then there you start. Okay.
Okay.
Because if you learn coding and you do not get good engineering college, then there is no use. No one will be asking your skill. Okay. For example, you get IIT in mechanical, civil, chemical, it doesn't matter. Then you learn. Done. Okay. If
Okay,
you,
thank you, sir.
okay.
Samad, can I speak?
Yeah. Okay, who is this?
I'm Professor Khan speaking from IIT.
কেমন আছেন?
আমি ভালো আছি. How are you? Fine?
হ্যাঁ স্যার ভালো আছি. Yeah, I'm good.
Can you tell me what is the sole reason for dropping of the engineering student are not taking admission in private engineering colleges?
Because most probably they are getting message that many students are not getting job. So once some student not getting job, that message will be continuing, right? So like some engineering college I know, so there 1 year student got very less number of student got registered. So next year when new student coming, they are inquiring what is happening. So before taking admission, normally they will be inquiring what is happening, whether they are getting placement or not. If placement is not there, so normally they will be avoiding those colleges.
No. Reason is that most of the private colleges, they have the branches which run through computer.
Okay. Yeah, so that is also okay.
See, in Calcutta, they have IEM, but they don't have civil or mechanical or electrical engineering.
Okay.
So, because this department required lot of investment for equipment.
Right.
So, no private engineering college do not want to invest money for proper learning courses.
Right. Right.
Second thing, the lack of teachers.
Okay. Right.
Because one teacher starts classes from Sonarpur,
Right.
starting from there, then Heritage, then Techno India, then he will finish his classes to end to Howrah.
Okay.
So they don't have proper teachers.
Okay.
As a result, how student will get the job?
Right.
But AICT give approval those colleges very happily. They have proper infrastructures, teachers, everything. So that is not AICT is checking.
Right. Actually, I heard that many from Anna University professor and others, like they went for AICT college checking. So what happens? The college will know their information before they reach to college. So from airport only, the college will take them to guest house or big hotel. From there, they will go back. They'll give money or something. So that things also happen. So AIC did not inquire properly. So now most probably they are becoming rigorous. They are checking properly. So that's why they are closing down many colleges and they are asking not to open new college. So that thing happened. Last few 2008 around, they started lots of colleges. 2008, 2010, and when AICT inspection will be there, so nothing inspection happened actually. So that created problem.
Another thing is that you are telling that job getting you require 30% technical skill.
Right.
So it shows that whatever passing out 10+2 students,
okay,
they are getting 99% mark in 12th class.
Okay.
So cannot they cope up the 30% knowledge of technical knowledge? That is big question to my mind actually.
Actually, in my class also when I was in mechanical engineering AMU, so I have seen that those students who are not topper but mediocre, but they are very smart. They got job first, and those topper students they got later BHEL and Sarkari job they got. But next level student, they're very smart. They went to US. I mean, they got job in the first instance, marketing and technical, all these things. Because when technical people also coming from industry, they want to see the smartness of the student, how they tackle the problem. If someone is sitting in front of computer, they're doing lots of calculation, so that is also okay. But first they need good smart people. Okay, so technical skill one side and smartness. So smartness also required. Okay, so one of my friend, Zuhair bin Sagir, he's IS officer, top rank actually. So in IMU he was there. So one company did not hire him. So he asked, why did you not hire me? So the company personnel said, sir, we do not want so much smart people. We want smart, but not so much. So finally he become IS officer. So he's now in UP, top rank 5 IS.
Thank you very much for your nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Them other listener, they can ask questions to you.
Yeah.
Hello. Yes, there is a question from
I have a
Sheikh
question.
Abid Hassan.
Okay. Abid sir.
Okay. My question is that do you think in future there would be a post of data manager for smart cities?
Sorry, I did not understand the question clearly.
Do you think in future there would be a post of data manager for smart cities?
For smart teaching.
Smart cities.
Teaching.
Cities.
Okay. Porano, teaching.
না city শহর
No, so smart cities, data management. Those are coming like data science will include everything. Like Abdul Ghaffur, he was there last week, right? So about data science brief he has given. So data science will be there, and IT Matters already created one data science course. And even if you see one news, the data science course is selling like a hot cake. So one professor is teaching, and everyone wants to register in the course. And job market also very high. I mean, people are getting job. They're doing data science course. Okay, so everybody is trying to apply data science. So it's smart city. Yeah.
Sir, my next question is that a good prospect for citizens?
Citizen.
Yeah, like our data in the hand of some government entity or private body. Is that a good prospect for citizens like us?
No, what prospect should I say?
From data security prospect?
Oh, data security. Yeah. So if you are security engineer, data security engineer, I mean, I think job prospect will be very high, I guess. So if you have computer engineering degree plus data security some experience, then I think huge job will be there, because you will be the key person in any company, because you will be knowing everything, every loopholes. So company will be giving higher money to you. Like many times we hear this word, right? Like antivirus people creates virus, so that they can sell antivirus software. So they need those security developer and security breacher also.
Yes, sir. My next question to you is, Elon Musk is very wary of AI. Should we be also very wary of AI?
Okay, but we are getting jobs, so we are interested in job. Lots of startup also coming up. IT Madras Research Park also having some startup on data science and AI, I think. So they may be worried, but at present, student want job, right? Engineering student, and yeah. So job prospect will be higher actually in the next few years. After that, maybe new thing will come again. After data science will be maybe some other thing. So, but at this moment, this database thing, data analysis, data science linking with computer, electronics item, mechatronics, these job prospect will be higher. Okay.
Okay, next
Sir,
question
I
from
have a
MD Abu
question.
Salam.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, carry on.
Sir, if I want to go abroad,
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
please unmute your audio. MD Abu Sena.
sir, if I want to go to abroad to study computer science, what
Okay.
curriculum, extra curriculum should I have apart from my general studies?
Now, computer science in masters or bachelors?
Undergraduate.
Undergraduate computer science, I think you have to appear for SAT and IE, TOEFL, this sort of English test will be required. For which country? US, I heard that 50 lakh rupees will be required per year. So if you have that much of money, 2 crore, 4 years, that'll be okay. Otherwise, you go masters. Masters will be easier, I guess, because in India University, you get some bachelor's degree with good marks. Then you apply for masters.
I think there is the scholarship in the US for undergraduation.
Okay, that one I did not explore actually. How much scholarship and which criteria. But I know that if you want to go there, SAT or scholarship aptitude test exam, you have to appear. But scholarship, how much they give and which criteria, I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
But in general, suggestion will be that do engineering in India and go for masters, US or somewhere. So because that will be shorter course. If you have, if you pay larger amount of money, also there will be affordable maybe sometime. For example, UK, if you want to go for masters, 1 year masters is there, and it will be around 15 lakhs, 15, 20 lakhs. Within 20 lakhs, you can complete, and maybe you can get extra visa also for working there. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any other question?
No question there. I think not there.
Okay, I can give some answer of some students.
Concept.
See, today the new education policy has declared by the government.
Okay.
So they are planning to do the coding from class 8 onwards.
Okay.
So this is new avenue they have taken one. I read today evening.
Okay.
So this is one.
Okay.
Second thing, for going masters, if you go European country like Germany, then Belgium, Netherlands, their course fees for masters and PhD is very nominal. So student can opt for that after completing BTech from good institute, having minimum above 8 CPI. Then they can clear GRE and TOEFL, which is English language test. And then they can apply, so they can do masters with reasonable expenditure. And then after completing master, they can get 8 months job where the institute he is doing, he can earn some money. So whatever money he has spent for his accommodation and other things, so he can get it.
Yeah, I think Germany is free.
Yeah. So in addition, Germany they give DAD scholarship. But if the student admitted in NIT and IITs for masters, you can go bilateral program to abroad.
Right.
6 months they can study there, 6 months in India. Or now MTech course 2 years, so one year they can go there.
Right.
So this is another option. Whatever US scholarship is there, I would advise them they can do after doing masters from India and do PhD there, so they can get teaching assistantship.
Right.
So that will be the better solution.
Right.
UK's fees is very high.
Okay.
Because their charges near about 20,000. But if the student is bright, the university can give exemption of the tuition fees.
Okay.
Only he is required for his living cost and expenditure. So that will come around 10 lakh to 12 lakh.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
that way they can go. This is another thing is also there.
Okay.
And since in West Bengal particularly most of the students are coming from rural area,
Uh-huh.
and particularly our community,
Mhm.
their school level teaching has gone down very much.
Right.
So even a English honors or master degree in English cannot write properly one
Right.
page.
Right.
So therefore, as soon as they entry into the college,
Mhm.
any engineering college,
Mhm.
they should take soft skill training actually. They
Right.
can take admission in British language, British
Right.
Council, they offer a course.
Right.
So they have to spend little bit more time for increasing their skill,
All right.
for particularly communication skill.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Communication skill and writing skill are two different phenomena.
Right.
So you may speak well, but you cannot write properly also.
Mhm.
You
Right.
will see a lot of grammatical mistakes are there.
Mhm. Mhm.
But that case, Bengal students are very good in writing.
Mhm.
Those have cleared Madhyamik and Uच्च Madhyamik late 90s.
Right.
Now all the students are coming based on Chaya Prakashani.
Okay.
Mark is good,
Uh-huh.
but knowledge is not up to the mark.
Right. Right. Right.
Therefore, we have to rectify ourselves
Right. Right.
to gain knowledge and to become expertise on your own field.
All right.
That is my humble submission to the
Uh-huh.
teachers
Uh-huh.
and to our young generation, because they are highly ambitious.
Mhm.
They want to good job,
Mhm.
but without having knowledge,
Mhm.
which cannot go parallelly. So they should acquire knowledge first.
Okay.
One civil engineer MTech student I have asked, what is
Mhm.
the peak size?
Mhm.
You ask Murshidabad mason, he will tell it
Mhm.
is 10 inch by 5 inch.
Right.
But MTech student said it is a 10 feet by 5 feet.
Uh-huh.
Means he does not have civic sense what is feet
Right.
versus inch.
Right.
But he is a civil engineer.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So that thing we must rectify it.
Right. Right.
Then we'll get job. Job is there, enough job is there.
Right. Right. Yes.
But
Uh-huh.
we have to do well ourselves,
Right.
and then they can get job. That is my observation, whatever I
Right.
have learned last 25 years,
Yeah.
my teaching profession.
Yeah. So I'm learning from last 10 years.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And BASE is doing wonderful job for the community. I wish they prosper and they do well much more. Maybe I will give one day talk about madrasa education and their lacuna of teaching learning.
Okay. Okay. That'll be good. That'll be good. That'll be good learning for everyone.
Okay, so thank you very much. I am quitting now,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
and anybody has question can ask me.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Thank
my question is to
you.
A.T. Khan sir. Sir, I want to know about the universities. Those are offering courses for master degree to Indian students. So what do they look for in a student profile? Because if someone has not scored enough, not good in academics while doing his bachelor degree, so how can he apply or how can he secure a seat in a foreign university?
Listen, those are foreign. There are two category university. One is government, another is private. So America, they have more private as well as state funded university,
Right.
which is government give money to them. But please mind, Stanford is a private university.
Right.
So they need money. So they will take little bit poor student, but they will take $42,000 as a course fee because they have to run show. Stanford is a well-known recognized university, though it is private.
Right.
Once you have a level from Stanford, you will get job anywhere.
Right, right.
So they are reputed private university.
Mhm.
But
So-
when you go to the government university, like in Germany,
Mhm.
so they will put a bar, they require minimum above 8 CPI.
Mhm. See.
But fees are less.
Mhm.
So you will not be, they don't encourage actually.
Mhm.
They expect good student come and they want to percolate knowledge, dissipate their knowledge to the good student actually.
Right, 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 right.
So my humble submission, when a student study in BTech, in any discipline in engineering,
Very well.
he should work hard another 4 years to
Right,
keep his CPI above actually.
right, right, right.
So if there is more students who are having more than 8 CPI, at that time, what does the university look for?
Oh, they take you interview. Each student they allocated a slot half an hour, and then out of 100 application, they will sort out 50, and from 50 they will take 20 student.
Hmm. Right.
Okay, so that is the way they judge it actually.
So in that interview, job experiences and extracurricular activities.
They don't take it. Anything job experience they don't require actually.
Okay. So will it give any kind of extra credits, job experiences?
Job experience, they think that this person has earned money because of poor academy, poor background of the family. So he needs money for higher study. That's why he has done job. But if you do the degree in your learning, let us say communication and multimedia engineering, audio engineering, and you have done a job in software company. So where it is nowhere correlated with your curriculum versus your job, what you have done. So you will not get weightage.
Mhm.
However, if you do masters in automobile engineering and you have done a job in, let us say in India, Ashok Leyland, then they will give weightage.
Mhm.
So taking a specific case, like I have completed BTech with 8 CPI and currently I am employed in West Bengal Electricity Board. So after now I want to do masters in data science or something like more futuristic courses. So what is the scope for those courses doing in universities?
Now, first issue, what is the purpose of a master's?
My purpose is to explore abroad and abroad university, knowing the culture, and also learn future technologies.
Okay.
Listen, my question is that, see, when you apply in foreign university, they always see where have you done your BTech degree,
Hmm.
okay? And now it is internet era, so that university, they can get all institution status. How is the institute?
Right.
So they will see first how many faculties there that institute.
Uh-huh.
What are the course have you done?
Right.
So that content they see it also.
Mhm. Mhm.
You see, one student who has a 8 CPI in IIT and one student has 9 CPI in Heritage,
Mhm.
they are not equally same.
Right.
There
Right.
is vast difference.
Right.
Because though here 9 CPI,
Mhm.
but in IIT getting a 8 CPI, he has to struggle a lot.
Right.
So that difference is there actually.
Right.
So the foreign university look into that parameter also.
Right.
In addition to see your GRE score, how much you have done.
Mhm.
If your GRE score is above 320,
Mhm.
then you have a good chance to get in the good institute.
Mhm.
That was there
Does
also.
the European universities take GRE score for granted? Actually, I think they only take the English speaking course like TOEFL or IELTS.
No, no,
Is this GRE?
they see that is your communication and English skill. They don't, that is minimum 80% you should secure there. Out of 120, 30 marks is writing, 30 marks in communication, 13 in grammatical like that. force they judge it actually.
Mhm.
So there are many good students, they do well actually.
Mhm.
But when you will score above 320
Mhm.
in theory,
Mhm.
that graduate research aptitude test in
Mhm.
engineering, that is difficult to get score above 320. If you crack it that above 330, you will get very good place out of 340. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah, another option is that you get into IIT, get MTech, then try PhD there.
It will take time, sir. That's why I'm asking for direct
Okay.
MS in foreign universities.
Okay. Yeah, so you have to give some time in the internet and have to search regularly.
Okay, sir.
You
Okay.
see,
So,
I will tell it, in Germany, there is no private university.
yeah.
So their fees are all same, 50 euro
Nominal.
for your masters.
Okay. This
So fees is exempted. So obviously they will expect good student. No, they want to take it.
right.
But the criteria is only the grade and institution, nothing else.
Grade is minimum. You go their portal because I tell you, in USA, University of Berkeley, they have 9 campus. Let us say. But in Germany, not like that. They have only 1 campus.
Mhm.
So you go through the city wise
Mhm.
and see, like they have a 4 oldest universities there, Munich. Then you have a Hamburg. There's our oldest university, Heidelberg.
TU9 will be there. 9 technical.
Many old university you see there, you
Uh-huh.
can get from the internet, and you see their criteria for admission there.
Mhm. So there will be always demand for good student. So as a professor, I want very good student. This will be enhancing my career also. Right? Okay. So let's say let's check what the requirement. Okay, there's like higher CGPA, higher GRE qualification. So all the professors will be liking this. So you try to get that. Okay.
And another thing also, this your foreign professor will not guide you. You do that, you do this, not like that.
You don't have time.
One day will tell you, I want to go to this place. How will you go? This is your job. I don't know.
Right. Right.
Okay, sir.
So
Thank you.
So
Sir, can
you
you
have to be careful also.
Mhm. Yeah, so many countries also offer scholarship for masters and PhDs. So if you look internet regularly, so sometimes lots of let's say Korea, Japan also they will have options.
Germany also offer. Germany also.
Germany also will have offer. I mean, sorry, not English speaking and European. Other than that, like Japan, Korea, those also will have option. But many students do not prefer Korea, Japan because language issues is there. But many students think that let's go to Korea, Japan somewhere, get masters, then next jump US or somewhere. Okay, so first you have to leave India, then next you try. When you are inside India, difficult. Okay.
But in Japan or in Korea, the courses are available in English. RT
Yeah.
courses are available.
Yeah. We studied, no? I have PhD from Korea.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, Western, if you are getting this better. If you are not getting, then try Eastern. Then again jump.
Okay.
So okay. So when you are outside India, you get more options. You mix with more people who are having experience. Then you create more stronger profile. Something like that. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
So any other queries are there?
Thank you, Professor A.T. Khan, for your valuable suggestion. Any other question from audience?
If no question is there, then what is your plan?
Okay. Now, Professor Nargis Ahmed Madam, Professor of Alia University,
Okay.
will deliver the vote of thanks. So, Nargis Madam, it's over to you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening to all of you present here. I must thank BASE for giving me the opportunity to deliver vote of thanks today. On behalf of BASE, Bengali Academia for Social Empowerment, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and sincere thanks to our today's esteemed speaker, Professor Dr. Abdul Samad, Department of Ocean Engineering, Indian Institute of Technology, Chennai, for his short and sweet lecture today, as well as it was informative and interesting too. Thank you, sir. I also, we are really happy to get Professor Eti Khan sir also here, who has shown his interest in BASE lecture series and contributed his experience here and made it more informative and interactive. Thank you so much, Eti Khan sir, to be here. In future also, we think we'll get your support and cooperation for BASE. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our base members, Hassan Bhai and Sain sir, for coordinating today's session, as well as I would like to thank our base president, vice president, GS, and all members who are constantly day and night. They're working. Maybe nowadays it is every day the base lecture series are going on. So thank you all. And last but not the least, I must thank our participants who are lovely participants and constantly they're supporting their participating in this lecture series. And I think from this lecture series they are getting real help. That's why they are participating in our maybe nowadays everyday lecture series. So thank you all the participants. So once again I thank all of you. um, Thanks for joining.
Thanks. Thanks, BASE, and thanks all, Professor Khan and others. Thank you.
Yes, there is a question from the Mizan Ahmed. Mizan Ahmed, I would request you, there is a email ID in the base, in the chat box, so you can email your queries. So I will send it to our speakers. Okay, thank you. So এখানেই আজকের সেশন এখানেই শেষ করছি আমি। প্রত্যেককে ধন্যবাদ।
Okay, ধন্যবাদ। Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Samad.
Thank you, sir.